Have demo bookings weekly. It's been such a nice weight off the shoulders to not need to manage inboxes.
So today we have an amazing opportunity to interview Mr. Tucker Kelly, Head of Sales and Business Development at Revv, one of the fastest growing SaaS startups in the auto industry. Tucker has been killing it these past few months, just closing deals left and right, and also helping Revv close another round of funding. And today we're lucky enough to have him here just to share a little bit about what he's been up to. So Tucker, do you mind giving a little bit of an intro to Revv and kind of your role at the company?
Sure, happy to. So Revv is a SaaS company, as Enoch said, in the automotive space that helps collision shops identify and calibrate all of those little sensors that go off now. Your backup sensor, your blind spot sensor, those sensors are called ADAS systems, Advanced Driver Assistance Systems. After you've been in an accident, the industry knows really well, how do we fix a bumper? We tell you, you fix the bumper, here's all of the things you need to do to fix each of those electronic safety components. In addition to identifying those, we also call out documentation and help you get reimbursed by insurance. So it's a full platform for your ADAS calibration reporting needs.
Awesome. Yeah. So we've been working with Tucker and Revv for a little over a month now. Before we started working together, could you kind of talk about the goals that you guys have set for the company and kind of talk about your situation in terms of booking demos with cold email at scale?
Sure. So as you said in the intro, I'm the head of sales here. And when I joined the company as the third employee, everything was done very manually by the CEO and myself. We were using a few different tools, but it was a consistent thing that had to be handled on a weekly basis, like managing inboxes, scaling email domains, sending out cold emails. We're fortunate to be in an industry that has an incredibly high open rate because our primary ICP isn't being targeted on daily, emails for all sorts of different SaaS products. So they're a little more willing to open and engage is what we've seen. So we saw a high engagement rate. However, we just really didn't have the time to scale through, appropriately finding leads, especially because we're a more offline industry. We didn't have time to manage all the inboxes. We didn't have time for the back and forths and actually put meetings on the calendar. So we were getting by and we were making things work by just, having a couple of cadences, basically letting them run and taking what that farmed in. But we knew that we weren't running an optimal outbounding program because there just are not enough hours in the day.
Exactly. Right. So I'm curious if you were slightly skeptical at first in terms of working with us, because I know you talked about working with an agency in the past a while ago. Can you kind of talk about that experience, kind of how that went?
Sure. Yeah. We worked with an agency before you that folded. It was a couple of young, ambitious guys that were, getting after it. And the problem was effectively after we set up and warmed our email domains, which I really appreciated them doing, they basically folded before we even had a campaign that went live. Gotcha. I will say they were very professional. They were like, hey, we had a contract, here's your money back, but we're not doing this anymore. So appreciated the cash back, would have rathered fully run email campaigns. So with that said, there was some apprehension towards going to another agency that, is, I don't know where you were in the life cycle of what you do, right? In your company. So there was a little bit of apprehension coming in.
Gotcha. So after our first roughly 30 days of cold outreach, can you kind of talk about the different results that you've been seeing and kind of talk about the areas of the business that have improved?
Sure. I'll say when you said it had been a month, I was like, what? 1 month?
Yeah. Same here.
Time moves different in this startup world. It's dilated weird. It's the results have been really solid. They're speaking for themselves. We have demo bookings weekly. It's been such a nice weight off the shoulders to not need to manage inboxes, not need to really, tweak campaigns and A/B test.
Yeah.
But I'll also say, coming out the gate, that was really, really valuable for us is that we highly value speed, as you saw and as you've seen. And you were able to get onboarded really quickly, asking really pointed questions that helped you understand the value prop and the ICP. Honestly, the onboarding process was super smooth, and we appreciate you expediting what you might normally go through. Other things that have improved in the company is, one, we're larger now. We're growing. As you said, we have closed another round of funding.
Yeah.
And secondly, just having, the space and time to put that energy into working on larger deals and working on, follow-ups and nurture as opposed to going hunting and putting our own meetings on the calendar.
Let's say there might be someone out there listening or watching this right now, but they just have their doubts about working with us. They're just on the fence. How likely would you recommend us, and kind of what would you tell that person who's just on the fence about it?
Yeah, certainly. I mean, I would definitely recommend. I've been happy with the results that we found. Working with you, I would, I can speak towards that really easily. Generally, if there's skepticism, they also have ideas and targets of what they want to hit and would like to see results. And that's a thing that I now have a month of that I can speak towards. I think the second thing for me is it feels like a very low risk decision to try, right? Like everything's a two-way door. Like if you hadn't gone very well, Enoch, we wouldn't be having this combo now because we were on someone else, right? And so for me, I think there's value in like having a peer that's utilized as service and can say, hey, they onboarded quick, they were thoughtful, they managed the inbox as well. You at least have one person that's like giving a thumbs up and pointing and saying, hey, like I'm seeing some winning here, and I would be willing to bet on you. I think for me, the top things that I point towards, one is the onboarding speed. Two, like really, there's been a lack of hand holding. You answered questions, but there was like a 2-week period where you didn't really hear from me because we got buried and you were just kind of flying blind. And even while flying blind, you kept at it. You kept flying. When we were able to sync up and give directions, give pointers, the time was always used efficiently to get to the questions that needed to be answered in order to help you do your job. And that's exactly what we were looking for.
Amazing. Last question before I let you go. Can you kind of talk about what maybe we could improve on? Pretty much, what could we be doing better to make your lives easier?
Sure. It's a good question. I think things that you could be doing better probably need to originate and stem from me. Some of that is kind of just reporting on activities, like what's been happening. I know it's there. Like I log into the tool and can see the metrics. So it's not that you're not providing it. It's that I'm not really giving you a platform for regular touch points and feedback just because of how things have been moving. So there's probably room for iteration, both on like how we communicate, the types of reporting that comes out, and honestly, just kind of the oversight and management of how these campaigns are running from my side of the table. But once again, it's a little bit hard for me to put that on you because it's not like you're not available. It's not like you're not giving reporting. It's not like I'm the one that's pretty scarce at the moment. So
gotcha.
I don't know if I have like really good pointed feedback. It's because I know that would be useful, but at the moment, I think a lot of the issues we would see here, one, aren't impacting like meetings getting put on the schedule, right? The calendar. And two, are probably driven from me and my post.
You're too kind, Tucker. Thank you for taking the time today. I hope everyone who watched this got, some unique insights from this. Really appreciate you taking the time. I know your schedule is crazy, so thank you.
No problem, Enoch.